Okay, thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for clicking the little bell. Today we got the Brittany Murphy story. Sorry, I know my voice sounds different, but it's because I wanted to finally come out and talk the way that I normally talk when I'm not on camera. When I'm doing my own thing and when we're actually in the world and not here with you. Damn it, I couldn't hold it. Ugh, I couldn't hold it. I wanted to hold it. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for clicking the little bell. Today's a big day. Today is a big day. We got the Brittany Murphy story. Now, I only saw part one of the documentary. Okay, and from what I saw, it is insane. It is absolutely insane. So I want to start it off with this Brittany Murphy story by saying, originally, straight up, right out of the gate, I thought she had an overdose. This whole time, the whole time, ever since she died, the whole time I was like, oh yeah, she had an overdose. That's horrible. She died. She was a really great actress, amazing in Clueless, amazing in all those other films she did. The one with Ashton Kutcher, Just Married, amazing actress. And I thought, oh, she went the way of Chris Farley and Jim Belushi, and she passed away, sadly from an overdose. No. So here we go with this one. That's the guy right there. Okay, that guy, what is his name? Simon? Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, we'll get to it, but I don't have his name right here. Okay, so they start talking about her and how she came on the scene and how she started doing all these movies and everybody loved her. After bursting onto the scene in the mid-90s, Brittany Murphy is on a path to becoming an A-list artist, but in 2009, shocking news of her mysterious death cast suspicion on her husband, Simon Monjack. There's his name. Now, this is the thing. When you go into something like this and you have an idea in your head, like I was like, oh yeah, we're going to find out how she overdosed and we're going to find out how, they found her and how it's horrible and that's horrible. But then literally after 10 minutes, I was like, what is happening? What is going on? What is going on? So then they talk about Hollywood, December 2009. And they start talking about the 911 call that her mother made. Sharon Murphy's on the phone with 911 saying that Brittany has passed out. The dispatch tells her, "Can you hear any breathing?" She says no. The dispatch says, "Can you do CPR?" She says he's already doing it. And the dispatch says, "What happened?" Sharon says she was dizzy, she couldn't walk, and she had a cold. You expect me to believe that somebody just passed out and died because they were dizzy, they couldn't walk, and they had a cold. Okay, fine. And we're already starting, you have to understand, it was right away. Right away, I started feeling like this isn't right. This isn't, whatever they're talking about, everything that they're doing, it just seems so off. It just seems so weird, so out of there. So she was pronounced dead at Cedars-Sinai just after 10 a.m., So now they bring in someone, Kathy Najimy. She says, "We all agree one of the most painful things about this is that Brittany was such a wonderful person. There was nobody else like her." And I think that that's very easy to see because I believe that Clueless, like they said during the documentary, Clueless was her first role, and she was amazing. She was amazing in that movie. She made that character, Ty. Okay, and I don't know that anyone else could have actually pulled that off because it was really like an out of your element kind of character where you had to really give yourself to the entire environment, and she was that sad girl that came from another school and she was around all those rich kids, remember? Okay, so now we move forward to this part and it says right here, 3 hours after the death, okay, the cops are at her home and the husband is there and you can see him right there and he looks all sad and shit, and it just didn't feel organic. Nothing about this felt organic. I don't know. When I was watching it, I was like, okay, I already know something's going to go down. I already know something is happening. So they start talking about how she has an eating disorder, okay, and how they probably had an idea that she was being poisoned. And this guy comes on, Ed Winter, and he is apparently of the LA County Department. He's a coroner. And he says, "We responded to the residents. Sharon and Simon were there. Sharon was crying on and off. She would say something to Simon, and then she would start crying again. Simon was drunk, probably on drugs, pacing around, maybe not totally coherent. It just didn't feel right, he said. You get that hair on the back of your neck standing up. Dude, I had the hair on the back of my neck standing up from the beginning of this. Like right from the beginning. Like, I'm not like from the moment it started, but you know what I mean? Like, there's something has been off. Something was off, and it was so easy to tell. They basically said they were up late and she had flu-like symptoms. You died? I mean, I know the flu is deadly. Don't get me wrong. I know the flu. People die from the flu all the time. We're not going to talk about COVID and blah, 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 blah. We're talking about the flu. But people die from the flu all the time. But you're trying to tell me that that woman, like, flu-like symptoms are what did her in? Really? And then she tries to blame it that they went to Puerto Rico. They went to another country. Weeks earlier, that's where she became ill in the morning, and Brittany went to the bathroom. After a short time, she discovered her, Sharon, and then Brittany was unresponsive on the bathroom floor. They carried her into the shower. Why would you carry someone into the shower? If someone is unresponsive on the floor, you don't even move them. You literally perform CPR right then and there, and you try to revive them. You carried her into the shower? What? So then you did think it was an overdose. Because like usually at an overdose, you want to get cold water or something. You know, you want to try and make sure, because the person is actually still alive, you know, you want to make sure they don't go into to arrest, like into shock and shit like that. But they carried her into the shower and they turned on the cold water to see if that would revive her. But and then there was a delay in starting CPR. So that's two. That's two already. Why would you take so long to start CPR? For what reason? Well, what is the reason for that? I mean, if you see someone on the floor, unresponsive, the first thing you're supposed to say, CPR. And then you could hear on, I don't have the audio or anything here because, of course, you know, Hulu. It was on Hulu, right? Yeah. Well, no, not Hulu. Damn it, where? HBO Max. Sorry. It was on HBO Max. And of course, I can't use that because of HBO Max. And so the dispatcher was telling him how to do the CPR, right? Because you're supposed to do it quick, da 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 da. Like you're supposed to really go fast. I think he said something about 2 times per second, and the dude wasn't even doing it that slow. He was like, vuh, 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 and I was like, I could hear it, and I was like, is he really even trying to save her? That does not sound like he's even, like, they didn't even sound like they were in distress. Like, yeah, the mom was kind of crying, I guess. She sounded like, oh, please, she's fainted and she was on the floor and we found her unresponsive. Oh my God. Like, I don't know. And I guess because I'm talking about this after having watched the documentary and now I'm leaning to, you know, something is foul play here. But so the first thing is very simple. Why didn't they really care? And then why did they take her to the shower if it wasn't an overdose? Because she wasn't doing drugs. She didn't have drugs in her system. She wasn't drunk. Okay, what did they take her to the shower for? And number 2, then they delayed the start of CPR. That's so stupid. Okay, and then drugs pacing around, and this goes back to the detective. And he says they basically said they were up late. Okay, yeah, flu-like symptoms. Sorry, back. She discovered her unresponsive on the bathroom floor. They carried her into the shower to turn on the cold water. They started CPR late, and people in Hollywood were talking overdose. They all thought she went too far. And yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I've been thinking for however long it's been that she died. Because when I heard that she died, I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. Like, it sucks when you hear that a celebrity dies. But then at the same time, you're like, oh, okay. It was an overdose. Yeah, that's horrible, but, you know, it's an overdose. So that's really bad, but drugs. And then they go into a montage of friends and family. They were talking positive about her and praising her. And I think you can really see that Brittany Murphy was a star from a young age. They were showing a lot of clips of her doing stuff when she was a little girl. And she has that. She had it, you know, that thing. Like when you see someone on screen, they either have it or they don't. And she had it. You know what I mean? So, and she was really good at what she wanted to do. She knew what she wanted to do. And being a leading star at that young age, she knew she had to be smart and and she was really, really talented. So then we move forward 3 days after the death. The funeral on Christmas Eve. I mean, I guess if that's what they want. I mean, look, if that's what they wanted it on Christmas Eve. They even said something in the documentary that she liked Christmas, but then again, who doesn't like Christmas? That the funeral was on Christmas Eve. So then this woman right here, Sarah Hamill, she comes on. She's from People magazine in LA. She says her job was to talk to people to investigate what went wrong and what happened. And one story was consistent, that the guy was bad for Brittany Murphy, Simon Monjek. She first met him in 2006. Brittany did to Simon Monjek. He was known as a writer, and he was always in the background. And we were always sort of interested in Brittany Murphy. And they got married, and they were holed up in his house 24/7. Well, the house that I guess she obviously paid for, because I'm telling you right now, I've never heard of this guy. I've seen so many movies. Like, I'm a movie person, right? Like, I've seen movies, and I don't even know who this person is. Never seen his face. Never watched the movie that he's supposedly written. So I don't know anything about this fucking guy. And then this guy, Giles Harrison, the celebrity photographer, he comes on. And he says nobody was really aware of the Simon guy. They didn't know where he came from with Brittany, and she was a little kid compared to him. And we're not going to go into that because it's not one of those stories where they're like, oh, he was really old and she was young and he took advantage. No. Not like that. And he was a little kid. She was a little kid compared to him, and he seemed a lot older, and he seemed more of like a control issue. Now, this right here, we've already done two. This right here is the biggest one. And it's right when this started, right when I saw this, I was like, really, bro? Really? You don't want a fucking autopsy? So what did you do? So what'd you do? Tell me. Like, I wanted to talk to the guy, and I wanted to look him in the eyes and be like, so what'd you do, bro? What'd you do? Why don't you want an autopsy? What'd you do? You did something, right? You don't want us to find out what it is? Just tell me, bro. You can tell me. It's okay. It's okay. You can tell me. There's nobody else here. You can tell me. What'd you do to her? You did something, didn't you? And that's that dude, right? And you can see it right there. What is he covering up? Brittany Murphy's husband opposes autopsy. First of all, that right there, in and of itself, is guilty. Boom, boom, pack it up, close the case. If anybody was to say, oh, I don't want an autopsy on my spouse, what'd you do? What did you do to them that you don't want people to find out? What's wrong with them? What happened to their body? What did you do? So then the cop from the beginning comes back on, and he says that the husband didn't want an autopsy, and sometimes that's an indicator. Sometimes? I was like, really, bro? Sometimes, dude? Sometimes that's an indicator? Or do you think sometimes? No. I don't think people, and I was going to say ladies because most of my subs are ladies, but people, tell me in the comments, what on earth would you not want to have your spouse that you love, supposedly, and that just passed away, and y'all have supposedly no idea how they passed away. They fell, and we found them there. I don't know how it happened. We just walked in, and we found her here like that. Oh, my God. So for what reason that you wouldn't want an autopsy on your spouse? Tell me in the comments, because I can't think of one. I can't think of a reason why anybody wouldn't want to find out what's going on in the body of their spouse that they supposedly love. So then the cop keeps on going, that's an indicator that someone doesn't want something to be found. And I was like, yeah, you fucking think? God. So then you just saw it. It's right there. What the fuck is that? What is that? What the fuck is going? When I saw this, let me tell you something. I was taking notes, right? And you know how I do. Like, I have so many notes here. We got all these pictures. I have so many notes, right? You know how we do it. That's the way we do it whenever we're doing this kind of thing. But I'm telling you right now, I was taking notes, and I saw that photo right there. And I was looking at the TV, and I was taking notes, and I was looking at the TV, and then that photo came on, and I was like, really? Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, look at that photo. What the fuck is that? What is that? Are these two people in a relationship that we don't know about? Because that's a relationship photo. That's what that is. That is a relationship photo. You're not going to tell me otherwise. That's like one of those things that you do, when you're like in 8th grade and you have an 8th grade girlfriend. So then both of you go to the mall and you have your little photo shoot. Well, they used to do that back in the day. I don't know if they do that anymore. I'm really old. But you know what I mean. So then they keep on going with this. Look at this one. This is another one. What is that? So this is already strike 3 and 4. Because we had the first one that they moved her into a cold shower. Well, why would you do that if it wasn't an overdose? Strike 2, they didn't start CPR. Dude, you find someone on the floor, and they're unresponsive, the first thing you do. That's the first thing you do. Strike 3, he didn't want an autopsy. Strike 4, okay, strike 4 and 5, that first photo, that one right there, that's strike 4. Strike 5, that photo, that's strike 5. Okay, you're basically at an out and 2 strikes. And then they show this one. What are you people doing? What are these people doing? And I was sitting there, and because I had to take these photos, right? So I would pause it, and I was just looking, and I was like, what the fuck are these people doing? What is going on, right? Because look at that photo. Like it says in the caption, it looked like parents grieving. Why on earth would a man and his spouse's mother be taking a photo like that? For what reason? What? You look like you're a couple. So then that's one. Okay, let's go back to the other one. There's the other one. And it looks like you're a couple. That's 2. And then the other one, the very first one. That's 3. Come on, man. I don't need it. You don't have to play this game with me. I can see what is happening. I can see that she you want me to tell you what? Right when I saw these photos, I was like, it's obvious that she didn't fucking die. They killed her ass. That's what I was saying, dude. After I saw those photos, I was like, oh, okay. So it's one of those, the husband banged the mom. And then the mom was like, oh, we got to get rid of Brittany. We got to get rid of Brittany. Dude. So let's go over these one last time. Look at that one. That's the first one. The very, very first one. It looks like a couple. And then look at the second one. Again, it looks like a couple. And then the third one, again. And like it says, it looked like parents grieving. Like that looks like Brittany Murphy is their daughter. That's so ridiculous, man. And then the part that gets me the most is you're trying to tell me after these photos came out, nobody was like, oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, I know what's going on here. Nobody thought that. Come on, man. Come on. So then we move to 4 days after 4 days after death, the Amber Reporter woman. She leaves some flowers and her card at Simon's house there at Brittany's house. And then the guy, Simon, calls her. And this is another strike 6. So that's 2 outs. Okay, you're almost at the end of the inning, y'all. I'm telling you right now, they're almost at the end of the inning. That's 6 strikes. That's 2 outs. And then he tells her, you're the only person I want to talk to. You're the only person I've called. This is how we're going to do it. This is what we're doing right now. That's exactly what I said. I was like, really, bro? Really? Like it's so many things. And you look at it and it's like, okay. Well, over here is, something actually happened to her. And over here is she was murdered. So right when I heard that, oh, okay, well, you're the only person I want to talk to. And you're the only person I've called. And that's what I was doing. I was like, dude, she was murdered. She was murdered. Dude, this is insane. So then they get to 34 days after the death, and it says he has a disguise out, and the paparazzi sees him, and the paparazzi asks him this: how are you coping? Okay, and then he does a little sad voice, like, I'm just trying to live, man. I'm just trying to live this real life, and I hope that one day at a time. One day at a time, and it makes sense, it just makes sense. I'm going to go home, man. I was like, for some reason, when he was doing that interview, with the paparazzi like that, it didn't feel, it didn't feel like it didn't have what's the word for that? I guess pain. Like when I looked at the dude and when he was talking to the paparazzi, it just didn't feel like he was in pain. It didn't feel like he was distressed. It didn't feel like he was sad that she was gone. It didn't feel like he was even serious, to be honest with you. So then, we're already at 6 strikes, right? So then strike number 7. Then they go and get a publicist. Sharon Murphy and Simon Monjack. They go and get a publicist. PR, basically. Amber Heard, PR, damage control. What do you need a publicist for? What for? If you're innocent and nothing happened and she really was supposedly found unresponsive on the floor, yeah, right. If she really was, what the fuck do you need a publicist for? What for? There's absolutely no reason to do that. And now we get to some of the most damning evidence. See, and the thing is here, when I say damning evidence, we're in the court of public opinion. Of course, you know, the way we did with the trial with Amber Heard, the way we're going through with Evan Rachel Wood. This is the court of public opinion. But there's also some very damning evidence right here. So they start showing this Larry King interview, okay? And the mom, I'm going to tell you the truth. And you can see it in that photo right there, where she's like, hey, I'm going to tell you straight up, she looked wasted. She looked like she was wasted. Now, whether that's because, oh, well, she's grieving and, you know, she's sad, so she had to drink to mellow the pain. Okay, I can understand that. She's wasted because, you know, she's sad and her daughter died. That's horrible. So she needs to cope, right? So they start talking, and the husband looks like a bloated mess, and they're both just jabbering. They're just talking. And then Larry King is trying to ask them questions. And the problem with it is that every time he would ask them something, they would jump. They would jump with a response. And then, like you see right here, we cry day after day. Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. But then he goes on to say that they sleep in the same bed. Because apparently she comes into the bed and they cry together in the bed. Really? Do you think we're fucking fools here? Like, and I think that I have to answer that question. The answer is yes. I genuinely believe that there's a lot of people, you know, in the, how do you say that? What's the phrase for that? I guess in the spotlight, I would say they think the people that are normal people, normal American population, they think that, yeah, that we're dumb because we're from Texas or we're from Indiana. They call it the flyover states. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think, and that's why I think things like Amber Heard, things like Evan Rachel Wood, things like this, that's why they think they can come out and just say whatever the fuck they want, because they're like, oh yeah, those stupid Americans, those stupid people from Texas, those stupid people from Indiana, they're just going to believe everything we say. Dude. And then it says, my mother comes in with neuropathy shaking, and that's what he's talking about, that she comes into the room that they're both living in the house that she paid for, Brittany Murphy paid for, because you're not going to tell me this guy had Brittany Murphy money. Okay, number one, nobody even knew who this guy was. He's apparently a writer, supposedly. He's apparently a writer. He's apparently someone that was making movies, and that was the original reason I believe they got together or something like that. So then you expect me to believe that they're living in a house that guy bought? Fine then they are. Yeah, right. But then look at this photo right here. Look at that photo. Look at that. Why are they looking into each other's eyes like that? This is not the kind of actions that a husband and a mother-in-law do. They don't do these kind of things, you know? I'll tell you straight up, I've dated women, and whenever I've seen their mothers, it's like, oh, hi, how you doing? And then that's it. You don't even look at those people. You don't even look at their mom. Like, you don't even lock eyes. You just say, hi, how you doing? And then you meet the dad, and and then you sit down, you be respectful, so that way her parents will like you. But you don't, like, look at her mom, and you're like, look at the fucking way they're looking at it. And then she's looking at him like some kind of puppy dog or some shit, right? So then we move forward, and I'm going to tell you straight up, from that look alone, right when I saw that, I was like, dude, they fucked. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. They've already fucked. He's already had his time in her. He's already done it with her. No doubt in my mind. So then we move on to this. And she says She says that that Brittany Murphy called her, or that she talked to her and she told her, "Mom, I'm dying. I love you." And then she starts fake crying. Look at her face. You see her face? Okay, well, I know it's kind of blurry because of whatever, like the television, I think, was whatever with the camera. There's no tears, dude. Straight up Amber Heard. No tears. Not a single tear that you could see on her face. Not a single one. None. And then look on this next photo. Same thing. Okay? But then let's go back to this photo where it says, "Mom, I'm dying. I love you." Dude, you're trying to tell me you're going to go on national television and you're going to fake cry in front of everybody. And why is that so surprising to me? Because this wasn't recent. This was a long time ago when these interviews were happening. So you're telling me people fell for it back then? I think so. I think they did, man. I think they did. And it says she's literally telling the story and pulling the fake cry like Amber Heard. I'm losing my damn mind right now. Like I'm watching her and I'm like, really? What are you doing? Do you think that we cannot see you? What the fuck? The mom was crying and says it was about an hour before, and she says, no. The guy tells her, "Baby." And you see it right there. What? No, baby. I can't even believe this. I can't believe we're talking about Brittany Murphy, an amazing actress, and this is what we're getting. No, baby. And then he says, "You've forgotten time. Oh, sweetheart." What the fuck is this shit? Are you fucking kidding me right now? And I started to get angry, dude. I started to get mad for Brittany Murphy. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This amazing actress, amazing person, amazing. Everything about her is amazing. Everybody loves her and she's amazing to the fucking fullest. And this is what happened to her? She did not deserve this bullshit. She did not deserve that. You know, these people to do this to her, to stab her in the back like that. "Oh, you've forgotten time." And then she says, "Oh, sweetheart." Oh. At this point, I'm fuming inside. And that's what I wrote. At this point, I'm fucking fuming. And I'm fucking pissed. And then it says, all the people from Hollywood and in the media start talking about how she changed from that loving character-looking girl to the blonde, anorexic, skinny model type. Now, excuse me. That right there, I know we're supposed to look at that and we're supposed to be like, oh, that's horrible for her that, you know, she had to get skinny and she had to get her anorexic. But, you know, that's just the business. That's the business that they work in. You know, I'm not going to try and sit there and be like, oh, that's horrible. She shouldn't have gotten skinny. No, that's the business they work in. They all have to look like that. All those actresses, they all have to look the same like that. Blonde, thin, nice bodies. Does it suck that she had to like get thin and probably have an eating disorder just so she could work in Hollywood? Yes, that sucks ass. That's horrible. But at the same time, it's the business. So now we move forward to 39 days after, and that Amber, the reporter, she goes, this is something that when I saw this, I was like, really? She goes to meet Simon at the Chateau Marmont. So are you trying to tell me that all these people, do they like all frequent this place? Everybody that's famous goes there? 'Cause shit. And then she says she had a talk with friends in the industry who had told her some things about Simon. They were unsavory, but it was my job to befriend him. When I met him, he was nervous. He was sweaty. See, when your spouse dies, when something happens to your person that you love and that you wanted to share your life with, why would you be nervous about anything? You're supposed to be grieving. You're supposed to be upset. You're supposed to be sad for a long time, because if nothing actually went down, she was murdered. I'm telling you, she was fucking murdered, man. I fucking know it. Oh, so then we go on and she says that he was nervous. He was sweaty. It was really awkward being around him. The way that he talked about her, he'd like to take credit for her career. He said when she looked at the movie that She did movies, and this guy told her and told the people on the movie, he told them, oh no, she needs to dress a certain way and she needs to be in this kind of wardrobe. And apparently he was bragging. What a fucking tool. And she says that he was trying to take credit for her career. He said when she looked at a movie and she didn't look great, I told her what to wear and I had them change it in wardrobe. He made himself seem like that when he said, I know they think I'm controlling. I know that you think? Motherfucker, you are. I know they think I'm controlling. I know they think there's the truth of the matter. We are soulmates. See, remember when Marilyn Manson with Evan Rachel Wood? Remember when Evan Rachel Wood said that that's what Marilyn Manson would say? Okay, when Marilyn Manson said it, it's because it felt like he was in love with her. It felt like he was in love with all those women that he was with, and that's why all that stuff happened. This doesn't feel like that. Like, it feels like this dude was literally just having her on a fucking leash like that. That's exactly what it felt like. Okay, and then it was really great. We Are Soulmates. What is really great is it's a Hollywood love story that no one ever wanted to see you that way. So now he's one of those people that makes up those invisible haters. You know those invisible haters when you see people post on Facebook or Twitter and they're like, oh yeah, everybody's I have haters and everybody hates on me. And you know what? I don't even have time for the haters. I don't even have time. Dude, you don't have haters. You don't get any engagement on your posts. We see what you're posting. You don't have haters. So I don't know. It's so cringe when people talk that way. And then she said it was in the back of my mind. And am I sitting with a murderer? Did he kill his wife? Could he kill his wife? So then the cop comes back on and he's saying they wouldn't release the cause of death until the autopsy was done and the toxicology report was finished. That when the investigator was at the house, they looked inside the medicine cabinet on the nightstand and they found approximately 90 prescription bottles. Holy shit. With several different names, which is highly unusual for prescription bottles, which is actually not unusual for people that are abusing them. Some in Brittany's name and some in someone named Lola Manilow, possibly an alias. And then they switch back to the Larry King interview, and Larry King tells them, do you fear that if they did an autopsy, it would show that she had an overdose? And they both, and this is what I'm saying, when he would ask them the question, and that's what he said, do you fear that when the autopsy is over, that they're going to show an overdose? And they're like, no. And I was just like, you motherfuckers. Y'all did it, didn't you? Y'all fucking did it, didn't you? And look, and it's right there. And you can see it. Is that possible? That's what Larry King said. And they both said it at the same time. No. And then the worst thing about this is look at her face. Look at her face. You notice how she's all of a sudden not crying anymore? Out of nowhere, miraculously, she's not crying anymore. Oh man, kind of seems like Amber Heard, doesn't it? We can really, really put it to where, she's crying and she's sad one moment. No. Was there an overdose? No. No. And I was just sitting there and I was like, you motherfuckers. So then the cop comes back and they say that he says they issued several warrants for several doctors and pharmacies to find out where the prescriptions and the different names on the prescriptions came from, because of course when you have one person getting a lot of scripts, then they'll cut you off and you have to use an alias. Now that though, I don't want to spoil it because that's going to be in a little bit. It's literally in a little bit. But there was no drugs or alcohol found in her system after the toxicology report. So who the fuck was using all those pills? Because there was nothing in her system. And which got me, right when I heard it, and you're going to hear it later, we'll talk about it in a little bit. Right when I heard it, there was nothing in her system, I was like, oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me? There was nothing at all in her system. No drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. And we're just supposed to believe she fell and was unresponsive from a flu-like symptoms? Yeah, right. Whatever. So then we get to 53 days after the death, February 2010. It's like some home footage, okay? And they take that Amber reporter woman, the guy takes her in his house because he finally wants to talk to the press. Only her. You see the photo. He's literally putting his thumb into a reader to get into his house. Who needs that kind of security? Who is this guy? Is he like Mossad? Is he like U.S. Army, CIA shit? Dude, no, you're just a fucking writer, bro. And Brittany Murphy is one of the most popular actresses in that era. Okay, so what do you need? What do you think? Does Brittany Murphy have stalkers? I never heard about her having stalkers. Excuse me. I never heard about her having stalkers. I never heard of anything like that. So what do you need a fucking thumb reader, bro? What do you need that for? That's a little bit much. That's definitely a little bit much. See, and then they go over to this, and you can see right there on the screen, this dude had like Scarface level security. We're talking about Scarface, the movie. Now, if you can see it right there, let's see. That photo right there, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I believe there's 2 on the top. The dude had 10 fucking security cameras. What for, bro? What do you need 10 security cameras for? So then Simon starts telling the journalist why. The woman asks, why is there so much security? And then the guy, Simon, says, that's because we were targeted by people in government and we're being watched. Fine, bro. You are. Whatever. Who are you? You're some kind, like I said, are you Mossad? Are you CIA? Are you some kind of important person that we're supposed to know about? And Brittany Murphy got tangled up in some amazing web of lies and deceit, and you're being followed by the government. Ugh. No, dude, you're fucking paranoid. And I bet you anything that's why. All the pills, this dude, he's probably taking massive pills. He's probably on massive drugs, and he's literally sitting in his house, and he's like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you heard that, right? No, wait. You hear that? They're knocking on the window. I can hear it right there. And that's probably how he was, dude. He's all fucking pilled up. He's got massive pills in his system, probably drunk off his ass, using Brittany Murphy's money to buy drugs and alcohol, and he's probably sitting in his fucking room. They didn't say anything about cocaine, so I was gonna say coked up, but you never know. They probably had Adderall. They probably had uppers. With those kind of uppers pills, bro, that's not like cocaine. You take that, and that takes over you. The whole thing, and that's why I've never been a pill popper. I've never liked pills, because when you take a pill, you have no control over what happens to you. None. So then they start showing the house, and this is the thing, okay? Even the Amber reporter woman, she said, oh, well, it's a rich house, these are rich people, so I was expecting it to be a nice, luxurious home. Dude, look at that fucking picture. I know it's blurry because the camera was moving. It's all fucking, it's like a hoarder's house. It's like a hoarder, literally. Excuse me. Literally like a hoarder's house. You're going to tell me that people that are millionaires, because you're not going to tell me Brittany Murphy wasn't a millionaire. Come on, man. You're telling me that millionaires live like that, and then we're going to go to the next one. Look at that. Look at on top of that cupboard right there, dresser, whatever it's called. Look at all that shit. Why is your house so dirty, bro? What the fuck is this? Okay, and then they have like a bunch of hats and shit, and then they go into the restroom where she was found. You can see it right here, which is the bathroom where she was found. What is up with all that shit? Why is all that shit there? Okay, I understand that Brittany Murphy's a woman. I understand that women, I've lived with women before. I know how it is when you have a razor, so we can shave, and then that's what we use, and we have a comb, and then a woman has all this shit. Like, I've been there, I know, but that much? And then you should have seen it. I don't have any of these other photos, but they did like a whole pan through the whole fucking restroom, and the whole thing was full of a bunch of shit. These are supposed to be rich people. I don't understand. So then the Amber woman, she starts talking about the first time she met Sharon and how Sharon was submissive to him, which started to give off the vibe like, oh yeah, this is him. This is, he's controlling everything. He's making everything happen. You see, but I haven't watched part 2, but I do know that he died 6 months later. So obviously he wasn't controlling very much, which when you put those two together, like, oh, Sharon was very submissive to him. And then I go on to say that when she went into the master bedroom, she could tell that the bed had been slept in on both sides. And like, this is number one. If you're banging the mom, okay, bang the mom and, divorce the woman and leave her. And then, that's a horrible thing to do. Yeah, you're a fucking piece of shit for doing that. But leave the woman, leave her, let her be alive. Let Brittany Murphy do more movies so we can enjoy her because she's an amazing actress. Don't fucking kill her, bro. Don't fucking hurt her. Don't do any of this stupid shit. Okay, so then the response to that the bed looked like they both were in it. He says, like I said, sometimes she crawls in the bed and cries with him. And he says, now that may sound weird, but I don't know. What do you mean? That's disgusting. If you're telling me that you and this woman are truly mother-in-law and son-in-law. Now I know that's, we could go into son-in-law, mother-in-law stuff, but that's an Amber Heard XXX movie, okay? Flappy Fish Market. Okay. But the thing is, you find out then after that he says that they sleep together because they come in and cry together. Okay, that's fine. So then what happens after y'all stop crying? Does she leave? Or are you banging her? Probably banging her, aren't you? You're banging the mom. Okay, man. Hey, I don't have a problem with that. Bang her mom. Go ahead. What do you got to kill Brittany Murphy for, though? What was the point of that? There was no point in doing that. So then after that, then you find out this. The mom was the beneficiary of the entire state. Oh, and look, you can see it. That's a really good shot of her face. Look, I'm going to zoom in. Look. And even with the kind of discoloration from the TV, you can see that there's no wetness. There's no like tears on her nose. There's nothing on her cheek. She's fucking fake crying, dude. She's fake fucking crying. So then we find out she's the beneficiary of the entire estate of Brittany Murphy. I think, what are we at? Aren't we at like strike 12? Isn't that like 4 outs already? Dude, the inning is over. The inning is over. You're fucking out. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, then Larry King asked them, what are your plans? Are you going to move back east? And they both immediately start laughing. So let's get this straight. Let's fucking get this very, very clear right here. First, she's fake crying. Okay, hold on. First, she's crying. And then she gets angry. No. And then she starts laughing. You go from crying to like upset, aggressive, and then all of a sudden to laughing in one interview. Dude, you're on like strike 13. And then strike 14. Strike 14. We're glued. We need each other. What? What, bro? What the fuck are you talking about? We're glued? This doesn't, and that's the problem. And that's the problem. It doesn't make any fucking sense to think that these two people that were connected by the same person, this amazing actress, Brittany Murphy, that they're glued together and they need each other. Bro, that's strike 14. And then strike 15. 5 outs. That's 5 outs. He makes a foundation in her name. Okay. The guy uses her, not image, because her face isn't there, but you know what I mean. He uses her name to make a foundation. And then he gives people, he sends people an email telling them that there's going to be a memorial for Brittany Murphy. And they have to pay him thousands of dollars to go. Really? And the whole time, dude, really was like the word of the day when I was watching part 1. Every single time something would happen, I'm like, really? Really. And dude, I'm telling you, I suggest go watch this yourself. I'm going to watch part 2 and then we're going to do a show about it as well. Go watch this yourself because you have to see this because yeah, I'm going through it and yeah, we're talking about this and putting it all out there, but at the same time you truly have to see like every shot frame by frame. You have to see these people's faces. You have to see him calling her baby. You have to see her calling him sweetheart. What the fuck is that shit? You know what I mean? So then after people called him out, and this is even worse. Strike 17, bro. Strike 17, bro. This is even worse. After they called him out about the foundation and the memorial thing, then he cancels the memorial. Come on, man. How are you not going to be so fucking guilty? You're not going to be, how, dude? How, bro? What the fuck? Like, if, because if you do something and you're going to try and, get a cash grab, I guess that's what you call it. It's a cash grab because that's all he's doing. He was trying to get people to come to some memorial, and it's not a funeral. It wasn't a funeral. It was just a memorial. You're trying to tell me you got to pay thousands of dollars to go to a memorial for someone's foundation? I could understand a fundraiser. Okay, a fundraiser. You go $500 a plate. You know how those rich people do, and then they all talk about, oh, those poor people. Oh, we're going to clink our glasses. No, those stupid poor people. Like, no, that's all those rich people do. Oh, we paid $500 a plate, and there's only like this much food. Like, that's how those rich people do it, right? But then he cancels it after they called him out. Come on, man. Any more guilty? Any more guilty at all than that? So then when her and the Simon guy, when they were both ready to settle down, that was the reason they said that it happened so fast. Because they start talking about how that Brittany Murphy met this guy and that Brittany Murphy was like ready to get married. You see, so is it more of something where he took advantage of Brittany Murphy, or is it like a perfect storm kind of thing? Like this guy, he needed money because apparently he was a scam artist too. And he had done things to other people. And one woman said that he got with her. And then after she ran out of money, that he was gone. So you're trying to, you expect me to believe that this guy, who's obviously a pill addict, it's so obvious that this guy was doing pills. Because who's the one doing them? You're trying to tell me 90 bottles worth of prescription drugs and what the mom is doing them? Really? An old woman is doing? I mean, she's not old. She's probably what? Hold on, let's go back and see. She's probably what? Look at that. The one with the fake crying right there. 57, 60, maybe. She doesn't look old. So you're trying to tell me that woman right there was taking 90 bottles worth of pills? Come on. Because it obviously wasn't Brittany Murphy. Obviously it was not Brittany Murphy because she had nothing in her system. And if you take pills, that kind of stuff will stay in your system. And when you do an autopsy, they take hair follicles, they take blood, they take everything. So it's not like just a piss test and they'll find out if you smoked in the last 30 days. No. If Brittany Murphy had pills in her system, they would have found out about it. So then they go to the 55 days after death, and it was the official cause of death was because of pneumonia. There we go. And that's where the part 1 finishes. So that is where we end. Pneumonia. And the thing that was weird about that is that this woman right here, you've been seeing the photo, Lisa Shine or Sheehan, isn't Sheehan? That's the thing that the girls wear, the women's clothes, right? That's Shine, Skiing, I don't know, Sheenan, whatever. This woman was kind of odd. She was a bit odd. And the way she was talking, I know that she's probably a nerd and she's probably very, antisocial or whatever kind of things go, because she, she works at a fucking morgue. She's a coroner. I mean, those people they got to be weird because you're around dead bodies all day. I don't know if I could do that shit. But she was kind of odd, like the vibe she was giving off. And then she ended up saying, oh, well, the official cause of death was pneumonia. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't add. Like, here's the thing. If you were to tell me, okay, fine, this woman was anorexic and she was sick because she never ate. See, I'm number one, I'm going to have a hard time believing that, because I do know, yes, of course, if you don't eat and you're anorexic and you're bulimic and all that kind of stuff, and then you get sick, yeah, it's going to be a lot easier for you to die. But still, I mean, the woman was like 28 years old, or 32, excuse me, 32. A 32-year-old woman, perfectly healthy, anorexic, I guess. So you're going to tell me she caught pneumonia and died? It just doesn't add up. It really doesn't. So I'm going to have to watch the second part. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for staying this long with me. I'm going to tell you straight up, dude, I don't think she died of pneumonia. I don't think they just found her. I don't think anything. I've been hearing, I heard some stuff and I looked up some stuff. They said something about maybe they were poisoning her. You know, maybe they were giving her stuff in her food. That's a possibility. I'm going to watch part 2 probably today, and then we'll see when we get it going or whenever. You know, we're going to go with this because I like this and I want to find some articles. If you have something on the Brittany Murphy story, send it to my email. Email's in the description because I want to find out about this, dude. I want to find out way more. And of course, you know, I know that we've talked shit about the Phoenix Rising documentary. So here I am, you know, reporting on a documentary. But at the same time, all of us that saw the Phoenix Rising documentary with Evan Rachel Wood, we saw it. It was trash. So that's where they leave it, dude, in part 1, pneumonia. The official cause of death, pneumonia. So there goes that. So I'm going to tell you straight up, I think right off the bat, the mom, the husband, That's the only way I can't say it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, they're... No. I mean, do you think he's pounding her? He's probably pounding her, you know, because when you take pills, whatever, he's probably pounding her, but, you know, that's a different story. That's a different show. Oh, this is sad. Brittany Murphy was so good. So good. She really was. She was amazing. She was so hot, too. I got to tell you, that woman's face, she's so gorgeous. And I was watching the documentary, and I was looking at her, and I was like, damn, dude, I don't remember her being that beautiful. I guess it's because I never looked at her like I knew like she was hot. You know, I knew she was beautiful. But then when you see it again, and you really look at it, like you really look at her, you're like, damn, she was very, very beautiful. It's just a waste of a life, a waste of talent. And then you have these two people obviously fucking, bro. Like, God, so obvious. Oh, so that's it. So thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for staying with me this long. We will catch you next time.